Alright, this is velvet leaf. You can identify velvet leaf by the wide, broad leaves here that to the touch are very velvety. And they have little tiny hairs on them. They feel really nice, really smooth. It's considered a weed. A lot of farmers don't like them because they do take a lot of nitrogen to grow, and they usually compete with the corn that they're growing. So in order to harvest velvet leaf for cordage, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of farmers and gardeners out there that would be more than happy for you to go into their property or their garden and pull the stuff up. So this makes a pretty decent medium grade cordage, for something real quick. In China, it is said that they do use this commercially to make cordage out of, as well as the seeds. And these crown shape, that's how you can identify this plant. This crown shape has little seeds in the seed pods that are apparently edible. I tried them. I didn't really like them in particular, but then again, I probably didn't cook them properly, or prepare them the proper way. So anyways, what we're using this plant for, utilitarian plant for, is cordage. So what you're going to do is you can go ahead and just take the branches off. And what we want to do is we want to break the branches towards the top. It's better with a knife or a pair of scissors or a sharp rock. And just break them towards the top. Because if I break them down, I'll pull the cordage. I'll probably get some of the cordage, which is what I want, with me. Okay? So here we're just going to break them up, or cut them up upwards towards the top of the plant here, like so. Okay. Just so we don't ruin our chances of getting some decent strips of cordage. Okay. Now this is the root end here. I'll go ahead and just pop this in half, and now as you can see, I'm starting to get the skin. This is what we want. This is where our cordage is going to be hidden. Okay. So I'm just going to strip this off here from the root. Set that aside. Okay. Now this piece here, if you can, I don't know if you can see it on camera pretty good, but there's some mini fibers in there. This is pretty green. It's pretty wet still, but up close there's some pretty decent fibers that are sitting on here. On the back side, this is the skin. Okay, this is the skin of the plant that if you really wanted to get at the fibers, you could scrape with a rock or a knife the back side here. Okay, you can scrape the back side, and then you will see the isolation of the fibers. Okay, it's actually better to work the fiber to get to harvest the cordage while it's still green, or wet. Okay, once you found it dead and you've harvested the carcasses or the skeletons of the plant, and you can break the center and get at the strips like so. Okay, and by that time they're dried out, they're not green or anything like that, and they're pretty much ready to go for your use. Okay, so to take these off, I'm just going to pull this up and away, and I'm using this finger here to help me guide it along the side of the body of the stalk. Okay, and it's fairly strong. This cordage, is surprisingly, the plant feels fragile, but when you get to the cordage here, or you get to the strips of the skin, it's pretty strong. Okay, so this piece is in half here. Let's split this off, so I'm going to set this aside. And then I'm going to take the other piece here. And you see how I'm just pulling it off like so. Just like so. Just pull it off like so. Boom. There we go. This plant is also identifiable by the yellow flowers that it will create as well. Okay, so we've got the seed pod, which is like a crown seed pod, and then we have the yellow flowers that grow off of it. Okay, it's a very interesting plant. It's actually pretty pretty. It's a pretty useful, and it's also a useful plant. Okay, so I had to break off a piece here. Okay, so this is our lashing right now. We've got a lashing here. Okay, we've got a lashing. Okay, and then this you can pretty much use to tie up most anything. Even right now I can just make a granny knot, and this would You know, it would bind something together if I wanted it to. Okay. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into useful or even stronger cordage. Okay.